I want to first of all introduce everyone and say welcome to the HerdCon podcast. I am your host, Michelle Alford, and I am here today with three amazing local and Appalachian authors, and just all around awesome people. So on, I don't know what side of your screen they're on. On my left of the screen, I've got Stephan Bias. Over on the right, I have in the back Amanda Hooser, and beside Amanda is Caitlyn Pace. And Caitlyn has joined us before, so if you follow the podcast, you've probably seen her interview. So, and today we got Nate Hara doing our production with us. You want to say hi, Nate?
Hello.
But welcome, guys. I am so tickled to have you with us today. If you know much about the podcast, we love our pop culture and we love celebrating, we'll call it local flavor of pop culture, which we love our local authors, our local artists, our game designers, and all that. And we love being able to celebrate you guys. So let's start out. You're all authors. You all are currently published, and we have three either recently or up and coming books between the group of you. So who wants to start first?
Which one?
I think you should start first.
I think I should start
Yeah.
first. I started with the Henlo Press 2 years ago, and afterwards came out in 2022. And I have a book coming out this year at the very end of the year, which is 304 Monsters. And it's awesome to work in this area and be around the people that I am. Because like you said, I'm working with a bunch of people from Appalachia. I'm working with, Caitlyn, Amanda, they're from here. Tyler was from here too, wasn't he? Yeah. So they have a pretty good group of people, and I was on the ground floor. They had just released the dictionary game, which was a small game, and I had a comic book that had failed. I was trying to get a comic book off the ground, and it didn't do well.
I don't think I knew about the comic book.
Yeah.
Now I've got to go find the comic book.
The thing is that the artist wanted an 80-20 split, and I explained to him. I said, "You obviously don't know me. It's not about the money for me." Because you don't get into this for the money, I think they both can agree. You're not in this for the money.
Yeah.
And so when it failed, Courtney worked at a local store, and she said, "Well, write me something. And she kept aggravating me. And she held my hand through the entire thing. Because I write and they've read my work. It's very fast paced from scene to scene. It's almost comic bookish. Television. I'm more suited for screenplays, and they held my hand through it. And when afterwards came out, there's nothing more frightening than the day before your book comes out, because you're
gonna
like
vomit.
You're like, yeah, you're like, this is bad. You're like, and that's because you're through the whole experience. You're like, man, this is great, and then you get the day before, and you're like, this is awful.
Yeah.
And
what if someone reads it?
Yeah, I hope this fails. And so it came out, and the thing when I realized that it was a success was, and this happened at the Huntington Comic-Con in 2022. I was sitting beside my wife, and this woman come up, and she goes, "I had went to HerdCon and bought your book, and you didn't come in 2020 because you had COVID." And she goes, "I was in a really dark place. My brother had passed away, and I read your book like 5 times." She goes, I love your book.
Aww.
She goes, I didn't know her on a personal level. So I get up and I take a picture, and I'm like, do you have a copy of my book? And Courtney and them were away from it, which they're still mad at me over this. So I grabbed a copy off, I signed it for her. And as she walked away, my wife is sitting there, and I'm real silent. And my wife leans in and goes, "You're going to do the dishes when you get I said, "Why?" And she goes, "Because I am not letting that go to your head." So
The good wife.
what happened after that is I was like, I can do this. I can do this. And so I did 304 and Courtney and them read it and went, whoa, it's so different than, because with Afterwards, I tried to go outside of my wheelhouse. 304 is more, me personally.
Very deep into your world.
Yeah, it's very Steve. It's very Steve. So we had a personal tragedy. The book was supposed to come out at the end of August. It was right after yours. I was due right after you. And they pushed it into December, which it's looking like we'll be a little bit for that, but it's okay. But
it's making it much harder for me to harass you.
Yeah, it's hard
because your book's not out yet. I can't rumble with you if you don't have a book out yet.
The thing about the two of us is we've got this friendly little rivalry going on. I do just TikTok. I tell people when they come up to the booth to buy her book, I'm like, this is my rival's book. And they're like, oh, so you don't like it? I said, no, I actually love it. And that's what's terrible. And then Caitlyn and I actually work together on another project. So I know what Caitlyn's got coming.
Excellent.
I can't wait for you to hear what they both got in the pipe, because it's really, Shade of Winter is fantastic. I wanted to hate it. Yeah, I wanted to hate it. It is so good. I get to the end of it. I'm like, man, Rachel's like, what's wrong? I'm like, my daughter comes in. She goes, are you okay? I'm like, no, it's good. And, so, yeah. And then, yours, you working with your mom, it's just so good. But I'll step back. I'll let you guys run. You guys run it.
Well, I actually met the whole Henlo crew when I went to Caitlyn's book launch for Mumblings.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, nice.
It was a packed room at Cicada. Like there was standing room only. And you read from your book, and I thought, well, this is really good. And I met Courtney, and I met Chandler, and I met you, and I was like, okay, these are some cool people. I can maybe submit this, because I've been kicking around A Shade of Winter since 2016, and like I just never finished it or read everything but the last 5 chapters, and then just stuck it in a drawer. Didn't look at it. I was like, maybe I should finish that book. I get that to them and start writing the second one, because it's a 4-part series. So that's how I got sucked in, because I had went to your book launch thing for Mumblings, and so that's how I just got sucked into the family.
Oh, that's great, because I remember when they introduced me to you, I thought that you were like a close friend of the Henlo family and everything. It's really cool. So I'm Caitlyn. I got introduced to Henlo at HerdCon, actually, my first semester that I was at Marshall. And I had I'd written a collection of short stories, which became Mumblings, during COVID, just as my little COVID project. And then I met Courtney and Chandler, and they decided to take a chance on my work, which I'm forever grateful for. And I say this always, and I'll say it again. I am so grateful and just amazed by how supportive the Henlo team is. I could not have asked for a better first publishing experience, because I've heard so many terrible publishing experiences, especially by first-time authors. They tend to get screwed over a lot. But Henlo and Chandler and Courtney and everyone, they are just so supportive, even beyond your writing. I'm also a college student here at Marshall. And Courtney and Chandler will text me if I make like the president's list or something before I even know I've made it. And they're like, congratulations. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's the first time I've heard that I made it. But no, they're just always, they're like a family, really. Like it has been amazing. So my mom has been writing for as long as I can remember. Those are some of my first memories is of her. She would write me books, actually. Like she would base characters off of me and stuff. And my sister, so she would read those to me, and then she was always into true crime and horror. So she would also write that, and she tried to get published a lot, and it never worked out. So when I was in my freshman year of college, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was an interactive horror novel? Like, because you watch scary movies and you're screaming at the characters to not go into the house and not go up the stairs and stuff. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a novel like that? And my mom goes, we should write one. So my first year at college, she would pick me up from college and then drive me back home. And during those drives, we would talk about like how we would plan that out and everything. And then over the summer, we sat down and just mapped it all out. So then we created Deadly Choices, Will You Survive Camp Meltaway, which is an interactive slasher novel, which is not what you would expect from a mother-daughter duo. But I love
it.
what it turned out to be.
I'm picturing you all in that like meme from Charlie Day with all the charts and the lines running behind him and you're planning how it's all going to work.
Yes, my mom's an elementary school teacher.
Perfect.
Oh, that's even better.
Yes. So she is like Miss Frizzle, but she loved like heavy metal and true crime and stuff. So she would get out all these poster boards from her classroom and we like mapped out all the scenes. And, you know, it's not one of those books that's going to win any awards or anything. There's like not a whole lot of literary merit to it, but it was so much fun. And we
fun is so much more important.
Exactly. And what I think is so beautiful is that when I'm like 70 and like in a nursing home or whatever, I can like grab that book and I can have that part with my mom, which I think is so
Michelle, have you seen her TikTok videos?
I've only seen like one or two of them. I haven't checked all of them out. I really need to.
TikTok, it's hilarious.
I haven't thought about those.
Oh my goodness. So, and I think all three of you are on TikTok, right?
Yes.
See, everybody, you got to look these people up on TikTok because, of course, this is a great way to, for one, preview some of their content. But yeah, so all three of you are on TikTok, which is a great way, of course, to find out, you know, previews and snippets from the books and what you have in the works. And of course, just to laugh and have fun too, because, you know,
mine's a little not safe for work.
Yes.
Theirs are fun and bright.
I'm still trying to keep mine PG, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
I have the other TikTok for the real me.
About because like when I read Shade of Winter, you know, I was like, how did she do this? I was like, she went an entire book, you know, without any sexual tension, without any bad language. And I look at 304 and I'm like, I haven't went one paragraph without an F-bomb. F-bombs everywhere.
Wait till you see Camp Meltaway.
I know. Well, see, we work on Mel together, and Mel's fantastic, and we really need to get back to.
We do.
Yes. But
so what is Mel?
Okay, there is a Kindle Vella does things in like these episodic, which is really
serial literature.
It's made for my style of writing. It really. So Caitlyn and I came up with this incredible idea, and the problem was we came up with it in spring right before she got out for summer. So we wrote the baseline for it, and it's about abuse, you know, and you know, she writes from the female perspective, I write from the male, and it's separated in two separate viewpoints. And and people
that's really, really good. And
people have went, wow, you know, they're like, wow. And then it's took like 4 months off, you know, and everybody's like, what happened? And well, Caitlyn, you know, had to go to, where did you go over the summer?
Oh, I went to like a couple places over the summer, but you know, just always staying busy. I wrote a whole other novel over the summer.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She goes, I see her mom.
Yeah. Oh, it's just 4 months. Yeah. Let's just throw out a novel.
Get that out.
I see her mom on Facebook. They're at the ocean, then they're in the mountains, then they're somewhere. And I'm like, how does Caitlyn have time for anything? And I'll text her and she'll be like, I'm playing with my dog. Leave me alone. So yeah, so yeah, we'll get back on it, especially once 304 comes out and Camp Meltaway comes back. Mel will get back to it, but everybody that's read Mel is like, whoa, you know, they're like, what happens next? I'm like, well, I can't tell you that
because you don't know.
Yeah.
Did you plot? Okay,
we really did.
Okay, good.
We spent like 2.5 hours on the phone one night, just going back and forth. My daughter comes in and goes, hey, I need your help with something. Get off the phone. So,
like I've got my other daughter on the phone.
Gosh, that's the 90s all over again.
Yeah, I got my other kids on the phone. So, but yes, go ahead and go into your big plan about Shade of Winter. Because, dude, it's awesome. It really is.
Big plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell our audience, just a bit of the premise.
Okay.
Because this one is YA paranormal, right?
It is. I had written 3 adult cozy mysteries before with actual romance and using the F word like a comma, as I do in life. And so, which my mother did not approve of, strangely enough. Biggest complaint about those books. But a friend of mine had asked me, she's like, my kids one was in middle school, one had just started high school. And she's like, can you do YA with no romance? Because my daughters do not give a crap about this 3-way triangle that every single YA novel seems to be obsessed with. They just want the adventure. They want the mystery. Who cares which hot boy she's going to choose? Like, that's not what they're interested in. I'm like, sure. So I asked Carrie, actually, I asked her daughter, I'm like, Beth Ann, give me 2 names. She gave me Pansy and Geraldine. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Those are
kind of old school.
those names. Okay. I was like, okay, and give me a location. And she said Perth, and she meant Perth, Australia, which took me about 10 minutes to figure out that there was no way I could believably write a book based in Perth, Australia, because the slang is insane. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to make up an imaginary town in the middle of Colorado called Perth, Colorado. And then I said, okay, do you want vampires? Do you want ghosts? Do you want werewolves? What kind of paranormal do we want? And she's like, do it as ghosts. And I thought, okay, so I've got these 2 names. Let's make them sisters. Let's make them twins. Let's make them their senior year of high school. Let's make one of them dead. And so I started from there. And then I thought, why can they see her? So I thought, well, let's make it 4-book series. I've got a Shade of Winter, a Ghost of Spring, a Spirit of Summer, an Echo in Autumn. And so we're going to cover all 4 seasons. And we're going to go through the whole year of her life. And we'll start, the first 3 books will be from Jerry's point of view. She is the one that is dead. And then the final book will be from Pansy's point of view. And Pansy is going to learn a lot over the course of this series. But they join a ghost hunting group at Perth Paranormal Society as their step 1 to figure out more about ghosts and why she's there and why there's not more ghosts running around. She's pretty bad at this being dead thing if she's still here and nobody else is. So she stands in the middle of the room, and the books, because it's set in 1995, are full of references. You want to get Pop Connie stands in the middle of the room and screams, "Tambu!"
Aww.
The ghost hunters can hear her. And she comes up on the video and she walks up to the camera and she's like, hello, is it me you're looking for? And of course, none of their video equipment picks her up. And she's like, these are the worst ghost hunters ever.
Oh.
But it's full of 90s references. But because it's written PG, middle schoolers can read it. We're going to test their knowledge of 90s trivia, though, because there is all sorts of things thrown in there that people our age are going to think are hilarious, and younger kids are just going to go completely over their head. They're not going to have any idea what we're talking about, but they'll still enjoy the story and the mystery. But it's set. I've already finished book 2. I've sent it to Courtney and Chandler. They're like, yeah, we don't have time to look at that.
Oh.
I'm like, that's great. I'm not the one holding up the process. So I started book 3. Like, I'm going to get these done. We're going to get them done. So
that is very exciting. And I'm loving all the 90s references. I mean, that's just...
I've got a list for book 3.
Part of my jam.
Strange Things Are Afoot at the Circle K. That's going to be in chapter 1.
Ooh.
I like that name.
So, Steve, tell us a little bit about what 304 Monsters is about.
Everything in the state of all the stuff that you hear of things that go bump in the night, all the things that are ghost stories, werewolves, vampires, all that stuff. Everywhere else in the world is not true, but it is in the state of West Virginia. And that was the premise of the entire thing. Because I when I sat down to do it, I was like, everybody in this state is weird. And there's this there's this difference with everyone here that is not anywhere else. I've lived in other places. I've been other places, and people are not like they are here. Everybody wants to say that. Everyone's like, oh, well, in Texas. No, they're not. I've been there. And, I lived in Columbus. No,
We are our own special brand.
we're very special. So what I wrote was a very family-oriented horror. It's a comedy because if anyone knows me on a personal level, they know the type of personality I have, and that's what was so different from Afterwards to this. Afterwards, there's no humor in Afterwards. There's nothing like that, and I wanted to go completely different in my first one than I've ever. It was so out of my wheelhouse. In fact, somebody we all know here came up to me and accused me of having someone else write the book. They're like, you didn't, who did that? And because it was so different. Now, when they read this,
they're like, oh yeah,
this is him. I can do it in his voice and everything. But I remember as we were getting through it, Caitlyn went through the entire thing. And Caitlyn was like, dude, she's like, I can't tell you how many times, just because of the dead granny.
Yeah. Yes.
Ethel.
Alfie has a dead grandma in the book. She is one of my favorite characters ever that I've ever read or watched or anything. She is just she's a character and I love her.
So a dead West Virginia granny.
Dead West Virginia granny. Yep.
Oh,
yes.
That's a whole new breed too.
Exactly. And I went with, it's very dark. There are sections in that book that are extremely dark. And again, we were going to have this book out in August because you've read it. It was, and I went through and changed a few things to punch it up with humor because I had a personal tragedy hit us in June, and I wanted it to be more bright. I did. Yeah. I was like, so I added a lot more humor into the book, like the part with the feet. Have you seen that yet?
No.
Okay, save that. We'll save that. When you read it, you'll be like, are you serious? What is wrong with you?
Somebody had asked me what a shade of winter. They're like, so what really goes on? I'm like, well, it's really about the death of a child. Actually, it's the death of two children, but it's really funny.
Yeah, but it's really, that's
not sure how those two things go together, but
who are the main characters in your book? And I'm like, well, it's Ethel, Jennifer, and Veronica. And they were like, well, tell me about Jennifer. I was like, well, Jennifer's dad is killed by something that's unseen, and she spends her entire life, in trauma trying to figure out what happened. And they're like, that doesn't sound funny. I'm like, why'd you read it? And they're like, and I'm like, and there's an angry cop that can see her dead grandmother, and the dead grandmother hates her guts, and yeah, it's because she does
comedy gold.
Yeah, she does improve her life and her lifestyle and who she is, and after I got done with it, I was like, yeah, it's not that funny. And Caitlyn texted me, this is hilarious. I'm like, God, they get me.
It could be that we all need therapy.
Yeah. God, they get me. They get me so much. And, which I've already started on my third, but I'm going to take a little time for myself. Cause like I said, things have just been 2023. My entire life has been all about luck. Even my wife, I was in the right place at the right time, and everything has worked out. So in 2023 has just been, my dog is 16 years. I'm going to have to put her down soon. I'm not trying to make the HerdCon podcast, sad, but my mother and father are both extremely ill. My son passed away. So that's why I delayed the book. There's a lot of people that have come up to me and they're like, what, I was expecting it. What happened? What happened? Well,
my life went to hell.
My life exploded in one big,
fireball.
But the thing is I want to, I continue. I wrap myself back in my work, and Henlo will, Courtney and Chandler will tell you, I come in all the time. Caitlyn, I was one of the first people that you met when you ran into. I come to you all the time. I congratulate everybody. I'm up everybody's face. Tyler Bell's got a book coming out called West by God from Henlo, which is absolutely stunning. So God, I cannot remember the name of the guy that did the Northern Narwhal.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, that's great too. He's a wonderful guy. And
What that is.
the Bird and Bear is coming. So Henlo has all these things. And the thing about Courtney and Chandler is you're like, how do they have time to do that? Do they sleep?
Yeah, they're vampires.
They are. So they actually gave me someone that's looking over my stuff now, so they could take the burden off them because they got so much stuff going. So it's been a success. And I tell everyone, because I try to put everybody over. I'm like, buy their books. Caitlyn's stuff is great. Buy Caitlyn.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda's stuff is great. Buy her book. So everybody, I want Henlo to be a success, and it deserves to be a success with how hard they put their. I mean, see it breaks them down, because
Courtney said that they had over 60 submissions for the Old Bones Literary Journal. That's going to be this is the inaugural year for that. So they have a lot to cut out and decide what's going to actually go in it. But
now you submitted, right?
Yeah.
And you did too. Yeah. Okay. Did you make it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, they haven't told us.
Next week.
Yeah, we're like their workhorses, and they didn't. We use other people besides us.
We will riot.
You don't want that.
No cookies for them.
Now, what year did Henlo Press start? I remember they were at the first HerdCon, so that's 2019, but I wasn't sure what year they actually.
2018.
Was it 2019?
2018. They had the book of poetry come out from Ian's
poetry, and then the dictionary game, Cognac,
and then Steve showed up.
I showed up.
I showed up.
Oh my goodness! Now, Caitlyn, yours is out in October, so middle, early, end. When can we expect to see it, and where will we find it?
The honest answer is that we're not sure yet.
Okay.
Especially just because of the formatting.
It's
the first time that Henlo has handled a book like Deadly Choices. So it's an interactive novel. So
it's a choose your own adventure, but we can't call it that.
Yes.
If you're familiar with those types of books, that's what it's like. It's in a similar format. So most of our edits have consisted of making sure that each choice lines up with the right page number and everything.
That has to be ambitious in a lot of ways. I mean, I loved my choose your own stories as a kid. I mean, that was probably one of the ways I got interested in reading, like in elementary school, was the choose your own, because it's like, oh my God, I can decide.
I would choose it once, and then I would just go through and read every single page to see.
Exactly. Go back and try all the others.
And we're hoping that it will be nostalgic for people who grew up with choose your own adventure books. But actually, a lot of people that are around my age, I will tell them, "Oh, I'm writing a book, and it's like choose your own adventure," and they'll say, "What's that?" Yeah. So I have to explain it to them, which is so weird for me because I also grew up with them. But
because your mom's a teacher.
Yeah, my mom is a teacher. But no, so I'm excited to introduce it to a new generation as well. I already have a lot of friends and stuff who are excited about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm quite excited about that. And I want to say we've had Kickstarters now for each of y'all's books that are out and what's coming up as well. I know Henlo's been really great getting things like Kickstarters out for each of the books and everything. So are there things like that coming up that we need to be kind of aware of, on the watch for?
Mother of All Monsters. Mother of All Monsters is another book that's coming out. Yeah, now that one is gore. That's
okay.
You're into that, huh?
Who's writing that?
I have no idea what his name is. They're putting me in the closet. They don't let me enter.
They don't let you interact with the new authors. They're like, them all.
They're like, we'll wait a week before we throw Steve. So Mother of All Monsters Kickstarter is getting ready. I know it's getting ready to hit up. I don't think that there's anything because we have such a schedule of releases coming. I don't think there's anything else until 2024.
Yeah,
oh wow!
I know you. I know you, and then what I'm working on will be at the end of the year, and then I don't know what you're working on because you're everywhere.
Yeah,
She's everywhere.
So my mom and I have actually been planning out the second Deadly Choices book.
Yay.
This one takes place at a circus.
Oh,
Oh, hell yeah.
excellent. Yes.
So
Creepy circus is awesome.
we're trying to change it up a little bit. So for the first one, it's a slasher that takes place at a camp. And we wanted to go off of stereotypes seen in camp slasher. And something that I love about camp slashers is that you're not really that sad when the people die because
They were dumb. And
they're usually all versions of douchebags. So that's what we kind of made happen. Like there's one character, I will give a little bit of a spoiler. He doesn't survive in any of the choices because he's the douchebag out of all of them.
that's perfect. Is there an option that you can survive and
Yes.
and get away? Okay.
I would say that there's more options for you to die than survive, but there are options
Okay.
to survive. There is the final girl, and so she survives more often than not. But for the
Nice.
second one, we want to make the characters a bit more complex, and have different aspects to them. So we've been working on that a little bit.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
80s movies. There's a reason why the Myers and Voorhees and Krueger characters got because everybody hates those. So I kind of see where you're going with that. Everybody hates just let them go.
Yeah.
Just let 'em-
Oh darn, they died.
Yeah. And we also have an iconic mask for our person. Basically the background is that a worker at a camp was killed in an accident, and she had a pot of boiling oil dumped on her face, so her skin kind of melted.
Ouch.
Yeah, she lived on to be the melted woman or the melted lady. So the
Ooh.
killer wears a melted mask out of camp wax, and we made about 30 of these masks that we're going to give out at events.
Oh my God. That is so cool.
See what I'm saying?
That is awesome and ridiculously cool.
We have so much camp gear, so many camp hats, like Camp Blackwater, Camp Meltaway t-shirts. We've got everything. My mom,
That is
along with
awesome.
the elementary teacher, she loves arts and crafts. She has her cricket. She's ready.
She has a cricket and she's armed and ready. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
You buddy.
I like my craftiness. Yeah, I love seeing people go nutty, especially with Halloween and all things spooky. So yeah, you're speaking my language here. Melty masks and get the cricket out to glorify something. Yeah, that's awesome.
I like your pins.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, oh yes.
Yeah, her pins. The pins for her for Shade of Winter, the
Perth Paranormal. Yeah.
the PMS.
PMS. Perth Paranormal Society, PPS.
Yes, yeah, whatever. Yeah. It was her pins and like your little cards that you gave with the book, the maps.
Oh my God. Like I thought drawing a map would be easy. And I was very wrong. And I ended up having to take a Google screenshot of Milton and then drawing out to see what the, from an aerial view, what is the size of a grocery store in relation to a bank, in relation to a gas station next to a normal house, so that I could draw. I had like 113 layers on that Photoshop drawing by the time that I got done.
Ooh,
Not easy.
The reason I brought that up is I heard her complain about that at a book release, and I wanted to bring that pain back.
Yes.
To the story.
Bring it back fresh. Pain in the butt. It was a good idea in theory.
Tear that wound back open. But yeah, we're all tight. The Henlo Press is very, very tight, and we're very supportive of each other. We and that is something that I hope, like especially people that listen, I hope that if you like to write, because I'm hoping that just like vinyl records, books kind of make that massive comeback. I know there's more people than stuff like that, but like my daughter, to get my daughter to read afterwards, I literally had to ground her. She's 15 years old, and to get her to read it, I literally had to ground her. And kids her age just don't read, and I'm hoping takes a more, it makes a strong comeback like that. But people that do write or have ideas, you should submit to Henlo, because you will be treated.
Submissions are open again.
Yes, you will be treated with respect, and you are cared about. You are actually cared about. I care.
That is awesome.
I do care. I mean, like with Caitlyn, I'll hey, how are you? Or with Amanda, I'm like, I still don't like you, but I love you. I love Amanda's work, and I do love how passionate she is. The thing that makes me angry about Amanda, okay,
there's only one.
There's really is.
Just one, yeah.
I'll sit down and I'll get like 6,100 words done in a night, and I'm like, that's Jesus. So good. I'm so happy. And then Amanda's like, this week I did 62,000 words. I'm like, shut up. Yeah. Her output is disgusting. It's disgusting. Who does that?
ADHD.
Okay.
If I'm not making stickers, I'm writing. That's the way it
there
works.
you go.
But yeah, I just hope that a lot of people submit to Henlo, because Courtney and Chandler, they treat you good. I mean, you guys.
So horror stories all the time.
TikTok.
They're like, this publisher $5,000 to publish my book for me. And I'm like, why would you do that? First of all,
yeah. And well, editing's so expensive, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I have a friend who's paying his editor like $1,500 to edit his book.
Yeah. And you hear these horrible stories. Well, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, or it didn't come out at all, or I dealt with them. They were so. Now, this is one thing I will say, and I'm going to give advice. I'm going to give advice. If you are getting into this and you're writing novels and your idea is great, you're like, my idea is fantastic. Yeah, all ideas are great.
Mm-hmm.
Check your ego at the door, because I can't tell you how many times they've come to me and says, well, Steve, in your head, that's working out, but that's not working out.
Nothing will humble you more than the publishing process.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because in your head, you know what you're trying to say, and the reader that would be reading it would be like, what is this person's?
This is gibberish. What are you talking about?
Your Google Doc now has 1,300 comments.
I'll do with 304. I split my books into 4 acts, and I got to done with act 1. I'm like, there's no way. I was like, take that, Chandler. I was like, there's no way.
To be clear, Courtney does like developmental editing, and Chandler does copy editing. She's more the nuts and bolts, nitty gritty.
Yeah. 600. 600. I threw my desk chair. I threw my desk chair. I was like, are you kidding me?
Do you know where any of the commas go, Steve?
This was perfect. So you have to change. You have to put your ego at the door to be able to take very constructive criticism, because there's been authors that have worked with Henlo and have worked with other people, and then I've met that don't.
The obnoxious ones.
Yeah, the obnoxious ones, the pretentious ones, you just they don't want to take advice, and you have to take it. You have to be able to say, okay.
Otherwise, just self-publish and throw it out there
and watch people trash it.
Yeah. And good luck to you.
Yeah, have fun.
And I will say that at first, like sometimes edits, especially like 600 edits, can be a hit to the ego, but it really comes from a place of caring and love.
Mm-hmm.
And they really want to see your
yes,
genuinely.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it. And that's what you need to remind yourself at the end of the day. I also wanted to say that Stephan is the unofficial, pretty much everything guy for Henlo. He just from the beginning, he's been
book daddy.
That word. No, he is just so supportive of everyone who steps to the team. From the very beginning, he told me, he was like, kid, I want to make you a bestseller. And I'm like, okay, go for it. So he just genuinely wants to see people succeed. And and everyone like that is like that at Henlo. Like, we're all supportive of each other. But no, it's just been a really experience. He's definitely he's more of a vital role to the team than he's letting on.
I guess.
Amanda.
I guess.
I know at the mall back in the day, he was quite the I don't know. I want to call you the kind of mental health check. You were always there lifting people up in your own wonderfully bizarre and fun way.
Yes. I love people.
You do.
Yeah.
Or some.
Some people.
More than
60,
others.
40, maybe. Yeah.
That works.
I love, this was something that I didn't think that I was going to really love, but as time went on, I love this. I love when they bring me somebody new, when they bring the fresh meat in. I love that. Now, we did have a meeting with somebody who's been very successful, and they brought me in to try to schmooze a little, and I did a bang out job with her.
Oh.
I walked in, I was like, hey, they're like, oh no. But no, when I first met Caitlyn was signing her book. And she had come down from Charleston, and I sat down and I talked to her for 2.5 hours. And then, we did the Christmas party. I talked to her. I talk to you every chance I get.
Yep.
Even at shows, I come and aggravate you.
Yeah.
She'll
I love it.
She'll be selling her stickers. She'll be selling her stickers. And I'll come up and I'll be like, hey.
I'll be selling stickers like a rabid raccoon going, 8,000 going on. I'm like, what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
Why are you here?
I'm like, hey, man.
I'm going to put you behind the table and put you to work.
So yeah, but I love this. And I hope that everybody, and people that are listening, you really should, if you care about the people in this area and things like that, you should buy these books and give them a chance, because first of all, great. Mine too. I'm very hard on myself, but afterwards is
even I will concur.
Yeah.
It is a good
afterwards is different. And
I know Justin was really surprised by Afterwards.
Oh yeah. When he saw me at Sam's Club of all places.
Yeah.
That's who I was talking about earlier. I was like, he was like,
who actually wrote this?
Who wrote this?
Yep.
And because there's religious overtones to it, and a lot of people don't expect that from me. Now, this is a straight up horror, witches, like the Witches of Weird and stuff like that. Wait till you see this. I mean,
I can't wait.
I literally come up with a list of 304, which it was meant to be the area code, but then I turned it into a counter, and I came up with 304. And when I got over 200, I was like, oh God. I sipped coffee. I was like, please, brain work. Please work. You're shutting down. It's like, Steve, work.
How do you come up with 304? Did you just have to watch every episode of Supernatural?
That and Ariel.
This research.
That and Ariel. They sometimes come in and they help Henlo. And Babette went nuts. She would be like, oh, here. And she goes, don't use Mothman and stuff. Don't cheat. And I was like, okay, I won't. And she was like,
what else is there?
And they would just send me these really disgusting ideas. What's wrong with those women?
I don't know. I love them.
I love them too. They're fantastic. But Caitlyn and Amanda, if Shade of Winter, it's on Amazon, and you can get it on the Henlo Press website. I think Camp Meltaway is on the Henlo Press website to pre-order.
Yes.
You should buy it.
Okay.
I'm not there because, Steve, but
Slacking stuff.
Yeah. But you can get Afterwards on Amazon. I think it's digitally also on Apple Books, and I think it's on Kindle Unlimited. I think I'm also on Kindle Unlimited. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, you can read Afterwards and be like, what a hack, but you can have fun with it and get started with the Henlo journey.
Yeah.
Now, are any of you selling at any of the local bookstores like Cicada, Slaughter Cafe, and all these?
All of us.
Conquest. So,
Yeah.
okay.
If you want to support indie publishing, never be afraid to go to your local bookstores, because you never know what you might find.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've got quite a few kind of little independent bookstores now in the area, which I absolutely adore. It's like you guys are rocking it.
Yeah, my book release will be at Book Tenders.
Book Tenders.
Because
you live in Barbersville.
I live a block away from the store, and I want to turn Barbersville out. I want them.
Oh yeah.
I want it to be so stupid that they're like, what is going on?
We're going to
Well, you have to let us know when the release party is.
I will.
I'll drag Justin down, definitely.
Drag Justin. No, Justin, you have to go. Though.
You should have came to Shade. Shaded Book Tenders was fantastic. You had a really
that was here recently, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You had a great turn.
I was gonna say I know I was sharing it and I just didn't make it. I hate trying to make it out sometimes.
Very good. She has her fans.
Well, I have the Huntington writing group.
Yeah, you have your
fans. We all the Huntington writers, we get together. We have the Ask IGW. So like we just went on a retreat last weekend. And so we did book mapping. Toby Doyle writes she's over 20 novels that she's published. And so she does this thing. She was teaching us book mapping, which is after your first draft, going through and making sure that you have no holes, that you're hitting all your beats, that your setting is consistent. It was fantastic. I'm going to use it for another friend's book that I'm helping her edit right now. But there was a lot of urban and other things while we were basically running around in our pajamas for 3 days for a retreat.
Yeah.
So the Huntington crew kind of we bond. We all know each other, and so if anybody puts out a book, everybody has to go. So we have a really good time.
Now, Caitlyn, do you have any opening things for the Deadly Choices?
Yeah, we're going to try to do it at a park. That's the current talk about it. We're going to try to have a bonfire.
I was going to say you need to do it over. What is it, Camp something Tate in Wayne?
Oh yeah, yes.
or the Boy Scout camp down Blue Sulphur Springs Road.
Camp Arrowhead or Maddie Wayne is literally like 3 doors down from my house on Spring Valley. That was an excellent place to do it.
I had completely forgot. I was like, wait a minute. It's a camp slasher. There's so many camps in the area. You could have some fun.
Yeah, that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
If you could get a camp, that would be the absolute best option.
Yeah.
But the book opens up with the characters at a bonfire, and you get introduced to all of them, and they get to pick which characters you have. And you can.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
It was so much fun.
The thing about Caitlyn is that her brain never shuts off. So there's going to be 10,000 things that when this book comes out, she will have, all the bonfire and
swag to the ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, her brain never, when I was doing 3 or 4, she's like, oh, you can do this and you can advertise this way. And then I was like, man, I haven't even
We're the official Henlo marketing.
I haven't even wrote the end yet.
It's so funny because marketing is actually my least favorite part of the writing process.
And you're so good at it. That's what's insane.
I hate the marketing part.
Yeah. That's my least favorite part. But no, my mom's the exact same way. Her background was in public relations. So she's like a firecracker with that stuff. And yeah, we're really excited about it. It's definitely, I know I've already said this, it is probably like PG-13 rated R level. Like when you start, you get to play as the characters, but the first choice, the choices that you can choose are go smoke, weed, or go skate. We definitely played into all those stereotypes.
Yeah. Doesn't that instantly kill you though?
I've seen enough of these films. This movie. Yeah.
I would be like, I don't want to choose any. I just want to go.
I need to bake cookies. That needs to be my option. I mean, with knives. Okay.
Help old woman cross street.
Yeah.
To get all my karma points in. But
yeah. And we had so much fun with it. Like at one point, you get to decide where to hide from the killer.
I thought you were going to say where to hide the body.
You do get to play as the killer if you want to. There's options for that. There's over 80 options.
Oh my gosh.
To choose from. But yeah, you get to choose where to hide. And we were trying to decide, like, from a logistics standpoint, would you get killed this way or would you get killed this way? And like how, like if you did this or this. It was very morbid, a lot of fun.
Have you ever watched one of the 80s slasher flicks? There's not a lot of logistics.
Yeah. For some of it,
literally
we get
3 sets.
logistics out the window. there's definitely a lot of plot twists.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, you're ahead of the curve then for
Yeah, no, we just had so much fun with it. Like it was definitely like one of my favorite projects I've worked on.
That was awesome. And you're already working on a second one with your mom. Have you and your mom decided to do any other team ones? Because you said that she had been into writing pretty much all of her life.
Definitely. So she's actually really busy. She is a STEM elementary school teacher, and she was just awarded the presidential award a couple years ago. And then she also got Fulbright, and then she's also working on like a bunch of stuff. Every time I call her, she's always working on something. She's written over $600,000 in grants for her school.
So ADHD is inherited.
Yeah,
It is.
she is definitely a firecracker. Very, very inspiring. So no, we're gonna stick with Deadly Choices for a while, but
Yeah.
we have so many ideas for it. We want to do one in a cornfield. We want to do one in a hotel. We want to hit all of the points in the horror genre if we can.
Oh, that could be so much fun.
We're here for it.
It's a set. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna do it as long as we can, pretty much.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I'm trying to think what all else I want to go over because we've got a good little synopsis for each of our books here, and I'm super excited for each of them. I want to say we've got the Kickstarter. I think we've got the 304 Kickstarter that had Shades of Winter with it. Was that one of the options? I can't remember. There was one that had like multiple books that we could get through.
Yeah, they make a Henlo package that puts
You get all the things if you
get
pay.
all the things. And if you catch us at shows, we all have everybody's. Like
Mhm.
when I did the Huntington Comic Con, I had Amanda's, which it was fresh. I mean, it was brand spanking new out
Yeah,
of the box.
like the week before.
Yeah, and I was pushing her book there, and Caitlyn's, I always shove Caitlyn's, because I sold Mumblings at the show.
Uh-huh.
And just stick it in front of me and I can
Yeah.
Like a carnival barker.
yeah, I'm up there. You want a book? Yeah, but it's like I said,
We're gonna get you a trench coat
well,
and
I know
hold a bunch of books.
Henlo is going to be at Scarefest in Lexington, which
Oh, nice.
I will be there and she will be there. Caitlyn will be there. But I know that we're also doing the West Virginia Book Festival, which is the same weekend. And I do not know.
That's 21st.
I don't know who's hosting it, but all of our stuff will be there too. So,
Okay.
yeah. And
HerdCon's going to be there.
yeah, we sign a few of them and they go out there. So you won't get it personalized, but at least you'll get Amanda's
Scribble.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. Looks good.
Except for my handwriting.
Yeah, well. That's all right.
It's like
It's a
legible.
signature. Signatures aren't supposed to
And
be
the
legible.
Fine, and signature's fine. It's the to whoever. I hope you enjoy the book, and I'm like, this looks like a third grader wrote it. I don't write things by hand anymore. I type everything.
Yeah, everything's typed. But yeah, I hope like I said, I hope that all three of us finish the year really strong because I know you've sold great. Your book has done.
It's
Yeah.
been pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I have a friend right now who's trying to get it into. I'm not sure what county she's in, Kanawha, I think, but get it into the middle school and high school
Nice.
libraries
I-
for that because it it's middle grade.
I think
Up
that
Cool.
afterwards is at Huntington High's library.
Cool.
I do.
Very nice.
Well, I've had several teachers from Huntington High because my niece pushed it up there.
Yeah.
And I had, and somebody knew me from way back in the day who was a teacher up at Huntington High. It's like this same thing. This was not what I expected.
It's like that could go either way.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to take that when someone says that. I'm like,
Thanks.
yeah.
So you got, I was going to say you got Scarefest, you got the West Virginia Book Festival. Any other events you guys know that you're going to be heading to?
I know that Courtney spoke with me about all of us doing more stuff at local bookstores like Cicada,
Mhm.
book tenders. I think there's one in St. Albans. There are
Plot Twist Books. Yes.
Plot Twist Books.
Yes.
Yes. And to try to get us more in people's faces because I mean,
we
I don't know
apologize
about-
now.
I don't know about you, and I haven't been to a show with you yet, but I love getting put in front of the public because that's when I just act absolutely stupid, and I sell. I mean, it's one thing that Courtney and them talk about is they're like, Steve really does a really good job of selling himself, selling other people.
See, I think before the Bell's palsy, I probably would have been right out there with you.
I know.
But I get so anxious over my face not working.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's
but I'm like, just hide me.
Well, like for example, the spiel that I use, I have spiels for each and every one of our books. And the one I use, like I said earlier, the one I use for hers is that I tell them that she's my rival, that she's something that I, have had.
And they believe this.
And I've had beef with for years. And I'm like, I want to hate this book, but I love it. And they're like, oh God, now I have to buy it. And
yes, you do.
and then I sell you as this 80-year-old trapped in a 20-year-old body,
which is not inaccurate.
It's not inaccurate. And they love it. They love the idea of you. So they buy your book and then they're like, well, should I buy yours? I'm like, look at me. And they're like, you're right.
Yeah.
They're like, okay.
Yes.
So did you just take the pity sale?
I take pity sale. The best I've ever done at a show though was Pride at Cicada. Books.
Pride was crazy. It was awesome.
Books, just boxes. And the next thing I know, I turned around. Courtney goes, "We're gone. You're sold out." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah,
awesome."
She's like, "See, this is why I want to keep you around." Yeah. But at Scarefest, I'm hoping Camp Meltaway is done by Scarefest because I'm going to tell you this right now. I can get that out the door no matter how many they bring.
He's already sharpening his pitch.
Oh yeah.
I am so prepared to get Camp Meltaway, and I think I can get you out the door too. Because the people that go to Scarefest, they're dressed up in their horror outfits, and I tell them, I'm like, it's why. And I said, I'm
there are ghosts.
Well, what I'm going to work on is I'm going to be like, she did this without cussing. She did this without any sexual tension or anything, and used teenagers, and they'll be like, I got to buy this. I got to, so I've been working on your spiel.
I delivered books to the Red Caboose the other day, and a lady came in and she was asking Sheila about ghost hunting groups local in the area. And I was like, I know that there is one, and I knew somebody that does it. And so I was looking it up online, and I'm like, I can't find the name of the group, but this is her page. Go look at it somewhere on there. I know that she mentions the group that she's in. And she's like, and she was like, oh, by the way, Amanda just dropped off these books that are about a teenage girl joining a ghost hunting group. And so I was like, I literally dropped them off 5 minutes ago, and she'd already sold one to this lady. And she's like, well, my 11-year-old daughter like it. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, but I don't know that she's probably gonna have some questions about the 90s references. She may not understand those. She went dressed as Cher for Halloween last year from Clueless.
That's awesome.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, she can.
So when I say way harsh tie, you know what it's going to be.
That's and so one last thing about from me about 304, because I can't really talk about 304 without spoiling a lot of it. When the tragedy that struck my family in June hit, the outpouring, and it's one of the things that I put about in the book is this, like I said, the people here are weird, the people here are different, but the people here care. The outpouring of love that I got from everyone that came and talked to me and sent me stuff. So what I did, one of the reasons we delayed the book, is all of the first names in the book, I changed them to everybody that reached out to me, like anybody that reached out to me. And someone talked to me the other day, and they were like, they're like, man, Steve, that's really cool. They're like, wait a minute, those people die in the book? And I'm like,
maybe.
Oops. Like,
did I kill?
Oh no!
I was like, oh,
I guess you have to buy it.
That's a tribute. Yeah, I'm tributing.
It's still a tribute.
You in a sweet Well,
Killed you off in the most interesting
yeah,
way.
it's interesting. So yeah, but 304 should be pretty soon. I know this week we're really getting into the nitty gritty to get it out.
Okay.
Have you seen the cover?
No.
The cover,
Ooh.
it's a black widow spider, but the hourglass is a red West
Mhm.
Virginia. And I love that. I love
I
that.
loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, because Courtney is incredible at coming up. She takes something that you have and makes your
She made me draw like 8,000 different versions of it. So.
yeah, she's so good at that's the one thing that she's really good at. She can come up with your
Because I was trying to do the pin.
yeah. I love it, dude. I wish we had it. I'd show it. I love your pen.
I should have brought my backpack. It's on my backpack.
I love it. I do. Your pen. I'm like, man, that is so. I hate to use the word neat.
It's huge though.
It is big.
I was like,
It is
it's
big.
way
Yeah,
bigger.
but come on, you do things.
Go big or go.
So you can tell by the way that we talk to each other, the way that Henlo actually is. You know,
Oh
can,
yeah.
yeah. Now we're being a little subdued, you know, because there's some jokes and some things.
Trying
that
to be
we-
professional.
Yeah, we're being very professional. This is us. Being,
I'm proud of you. I really am.
I meant to bring Nerf guns so that
Yeah,
we could shoot each
yeah, we
other.
need to shoot at each other because that's how we are. But
Well, we can always do a sequel.
yeah,
We can follow up.
Caitlyn and I, you know, we've always been really good, and Amanda and I, and you know, I do wish Courtney and Chandler were here because I rag on Chandler so hard. I don't know how she hasn't just beat me down, dude, or just
Can't picture it.
or fired me.
I fired you maybe, but she's so cool.
Oh,
But I'm glad we got to this. I'm glad that the three of us got to do this
Yeah.
because
Me
we don't see each
too.
other enough. I mean, we really don't.
No.
We really need to see each other more. You should have us on a lot more.
you know what? I have no problem with that. I love, like, for one, you've got wonderful banter, of course, which is always,
Like we're right.
I mean, to me, it just makes everything so worth listening to when you've got that nice, wonderful, casual banter and everybody works off each other. That's awesome. And I love knowing what you guys are doing because, like I said, I love celebrating that we have so many really cool and creative people in our area.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, I want to see everyone, I want to see the spotlight on you because it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, I love seeing what you're doing and I love hearing about it. And it's always just, I don't know, it thrills me. It's like, oh my God, look what they're doing.
Yeah.
Writing things.
Yeah.
Stop.
I'm writing things, seeing your stickers. I see you at all kinds of events doing your stickers and stuff too.
And Fall Fest.
So,
Fall Fest.
yeah, Fall Fest. I didn't get to go Fall Fest this year, but
Set up's at 8. We can't leave till 11. I'm like,
oh my God.
11 at night?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That is so long.
so if you're gonna be in Barbersville this weekend, stop up.
Yes,
Sure,
Fall
this will
Fest
air
is
long
this
after
weekend.
Fall Fest. So.
My daughter, it's her homecoming this weekend. She's
Oh,
to take the pictures at the gazebo, and I'm like, no,
No, you don't. No, you don't.
no, we're not because Fall Fest is going on, and Daddy doesn't want to go down there.
Avoiding the entire
He
area.
doesn't want to go down. I love Chris.
Mhm.
Kitty. I graduated with him. He's a friend of mine. Love him to death, but no,
No.
it's not. I don't.
yeah, Fall Fest is very busy. I went last year and it was amazing though. I mean, everybody just, I mean, it's one of those things in the area I really enjoy. It's usually very packed, even with last year's rain, the whole last day of it.
Full time.
It was just damp, that soak in your bones damp. And it's like, come on.
So I put my tent away last year.
Mm.
I forgot to set it back up and dry it off. Spring, when I got it out, it's covered in mildew.
Oh no. Well, I will let you know that Sam's Club has a really nice one for $100.
Yeah.
Because I had to replace one.
I need to go home
had to
for
do
this and clean it. I
Oh,
hate carrying it. It weighs a ton. And like I hate dragging it
Yeah.
around. It's got wheels, but but I definitely will need it because I don't know what the weather's going to do tomorrow. So.
yeah. The fall weather, it's not trustworthy.
No. No.
Sadly, it's not
No,
trustworthy.
I don't know.
I'm just like, I just fall.
If you get bored, come down and see me tomorrow. You can hang out and sell stickers.
I will. I know.
Just bring some books. You
I
can stand
know.
out there and just.
I'll make him bring me food.
Amen.
I'm like, I need a funnel cake.
Yeah. Go get me a lemonade. Yeah, because they've already got everything all set up over there, and I live in the middle of town, so getting home now is like 44 minutes.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's okay. It's okay. I don't complain. It's nice for the town, and
Oh yeah.
and just like when I do book tenders, when my book comes out, I know everybody, and that's why when I did Cicada for afterwards, you know, I had a really good crowd there, but I knew if I could get it closer.
Because Book Tenders wasn't open yet.
Yeah.
Tenders wasn't open.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I like to put on a show.
We noticed.
I know. I like to put on a show. And so when my book release party comes, it's gonna be just like you with your little masks. And your little bonfires.
Great. I'm
Cause you-
picturing
cause-
eagles and American flags and fireworks
Yeah.
from the Book Tender.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe monster truck.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Crushing-
It's gonna have the big black widow with the West Virginia on it.
Yeah, big cans on my head. Yeah, I'm gonna have some. But Henlo is again. That's the whole idea behind this. Is that this is something that this was a passion project for Courtney. You know, this is something that she'd always wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
Chandler, maybe you can't get a read on her.
She got sucked into it.
Yeah. Ariel and Babette just came along, and then
Yeah.
Chad came along.
Free labor.
Yeah, they kind of it's like a black hole, and you just get pulled in. But it's been so much. I enjoy doing this now. I don't know how you guys are about your writing, you know, because we tell how we do it. Yeah, I've seen yours with the cards and how you analyze.
I am a plotter.
You overanalyze. That's why when people say, "Well, Steve, how do you write your books?" Okay, and even she was like, "Really? I write the ending, I write the beginning, and then I go in between." You know, that's how I do it, and it's so different than.
I'm going to introduce you to Sheila.
Yeah,
She's also a pantser.
but I've grown to love this so much, you know, and it's so much fun to do this, and it's so much fun to talk about writing. Which I did have one woman tell me that I was the most unprofessional writer she'd ever met. Yeah. That was
So
awesome.
she's met 3 in her life.
Yeah, but she was an author. She was at the 2022 Huntington Comic Con. Told me that I should be more professional, and I was like,
Oh wow.
it's like, dude, look at my line. Shut up. Yeah, and then I was like, no. Yeah. I wasn't being very.
Oh.
Running the entire time. I don't know what she was saying.
I love this. I do, and I hope that it is a massive success.
Mhm.
I want everybody to be a success. I hope you blow up. I hope you blow up. I do, because I can say I was a part of that. But I mean, this is so much fun. I mean,
Yeah.
going into that little office and arguing with you guys is some of the most fun I can have. You know, because in my household, I have a 15-year-old daughter and my wife. I don't control anything. I don't have any say in anything. They're like, "Hey, we're going to get dinner tonight. We're going to go get something. What would you like?" I'd be like, "Man, Fratelli sounds really good." They're like,
McDonald's it is.
"We're going to go to Longhorn. Does that sound good?" And I'm like, "Yes, it sounds great." Yeah.
Fantastic.
So when I get to do this with you, it's just it's this fun release that I get to have. Not that my home life sucks. It's just, you know, but no, we've have so much fun together, and I really hope that Henlo gets to do something. See, this is something that Courtney and I have talked about, and see,
Mhm.
maybe by me talking about this publicly, it will force the situation to happen.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I've
Okay.
said that they needed to have a day where they go to like book tenders and they have all of us there.
Oh yeah.
In the mall.
Yes, me.
Yeah. Go to the Huntington Mall, set up a, book and we can have other local authors
Oh,
join in.
Yeah.
Like
Do
Terry,
a local
Terry,
author
I
day.
want Terry Miller to read Den of the Were Rat there. but I love him. I love him. I love his Facebook posts. He's great. And he's not a member of Henlo, but again, local author, stuff. I would love for all of us to be together and all of us read from our stuff.
Yeah.
Or read from each other's stuff.
Oh, that could be entertaining.
Or sit there and a little panel, whatever, and tell people when someone, because
you guys should do a panel for HerdCon too.
we really should.
Like an author panel. Seriously, because we'll be starting hopefully submissions for that soon. And it would be amazing to be able to just sit you down, talk about the writing process, talk about how you got involved with Henlo.
I can bring my index cards.
You can.
We have to be professional.
Yes.
What part of profession?
We have to be professional.
Or set a warning.
Yes, warning.
I was going to say you can set a warning because we can always say this is not recommended for those under the age of or whatever.
Yeah, Caitlyn.
So,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude. Ooh, man.
Oh,
It makes me blush. And
the language. Oh my.
I've been around a lot of sailors and
a lot of sailors.
But yeah, I want to do a thing where, because the Henlo has kind of got a brand to it now. The little dinosaur, people know who they are.
My little dinosaur got a Sherlock hat and cape, and I was like, "Thank you, Dad."
That's adorable.
Did you see the one? Mine's all blood splattered.
Yes,
Mine's a skeleton.
Yours is awesome. Yeah, they
personalize our.
I said, man, they do.
That's awesome.
Some of the best. So, yeah, I would love to do something with them because, like I said, just putting us in this situation. Imagine us sitting there taking questions from people.
Oh hell yeah!
And you know, I've been around a lot of people that have been successful, and like Bo Smith is a really good mine, and he's a comic book guy. He did Winona Earp and stuff like that. He's one of my pals, you know, and he's like, God, I hope you do well. He's like, God, I hope you do well. I hope all of you do well. He's like, I really hope you do well. So we've all been very supportive, except that one woman that told me I wasn't professional. I hope you.
Now, is she local? No.
Yes, she is. I hope. I hope. I'm on the HerdCon podcast. Take that.
Now I'm going to do a description.
Yeah, professional. That
we'll track her down.
Yeah. So, but you know, my family's supportive, except my wife. And it's kind of like she's like, really?
My husband is like, what are you doing again? I'm like, I'm writing a book. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, thanks.
Have you mowed?
Are you going to finish something this time? I'm like, I have written 5 books. Okay, yeah, I have finished a few. Okay.
Yeah, Stephan, have you mowed the yard? I'm like, really? I'm on chapter 31. She goes, 31. After the yard.
And wait until after the yard. His next favorite thing is when I'm annoying him is, don't you have a book to write?
Oh. Is that like the author version of Get in the Kitchen?
Yeah. Don't you have a book?
It's like,
go away. Let me what to watch on TV.
Now, see, mine's the exact opposite because the way I do my thing is I'll put on an album. Okay. And if you look at 304 Monsters, the really cool thing about 304 Monsters, and this is for someone that would hear this and read.
Now he's old. He means an actual album.
Yeah. Actually, I love albums. I do. I love the poppy hissy. You know, everybody's like, oh, I love the digital.
Got to break out the vinyl.
Yeah, I love the digital.
I've got Spotify playing, and
I'm like, bongs? No, you know, no. Seriously, I put on an album and I'll listen to it. But 304, each of the chapter names are the album that I listen to. And what happens is I'll go like 30 minutes and then I zone, and I start, and I go, and every time here comes Rachel and Lily. Lily's like, hey, Dad, how does my new jeans look? I'm like, get out. I'm like, you don't care. I don't care what you're wearing. And then I'm like, wait, no, come back. you know, so
it's a scene from The Shining. Wimpy, please stop bothering me. I've got to start over again.
Yeah, it's going to be like, it's going to get like at work. If I had hair, which, I turned 50 this year, so I
Really?
don't really, I do the Jack Nicholson thing where the hair's out like that. But I've had so much, like I said, I've just, Caitlyn and Caitlyn's got Camp Meltaway. And then what are you doing after that?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I did write a novel.
Oh yeah, the one you just cranked out over the summer.
Well, okay, I have to.
I was gonna say we don't have a name for that one here. Yeah.
Yeah,
You just mentioned it.
I wrote the rough draft like over the course of a year, and then I edited it all summer. So like for my editing processes, I pretty much just rewrite the whole draft. So that's what I did over the summer. But no, it's called The Devil Still. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with that title or not. And it follows the main character who's type 1 diabetic, and I'm also type 1 diabetic. So that was very, very important to me that I included somebody who was type 1 diabetic. And she heard legends from her grandma growing up and decided that she is going to go out into the woods to make a deal with the devil. And and then 2 kids who babysat her who are obsessed with the X-Files and conspiracy theory are trying to find her, as well as a guy who has a search and rescue dog. He's also trying to find her, and it's told from the perspective of all of them.
Okay, were you born out of your time?
100%. Oh my god!
There are so many references. I'm sitting here like, why is she referencing so much from my childhood? You're still a baby.
21-year-old's body.
When I made the comment about her being 80 and a 21, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. We're not 80.
No. You don't know how far she can go back.
Yeah.
You don't know what she can talk to you about.
She's got the whole life, the multiple lives thing going on. She's just remembering them all.
And you're just like, I was born in the 70s. I don't know that stuff. What are you talking
actually listened. This is so funny. The whole time I was writing Deadly Choices, I listened to Billy Idol, and I think I'm the only 21-year-old who knows who Billy Idol is.
That's awesome. That is awesome. It gives me hope for the future, though. I love it when young people are picking up stuff from previous generations because it's kind of neat to watch the rebirth, because it all of a sudden goes through that cycle of, oh my God, did you hear this? And then it gets shared around, and then there's all this sudden resurgence, and that's why we have weird things like the 90s fashions that hit back.
The things I like about TikTok is that young people will find old things. Like recently, they've just discovered Highlander. Henry Cavill is going to be in, and they're like, there's this thing called this new thing called Highlander that he's
no.
but music, and they're like, oh, this is a new song. No, it's not a new song. It came out in 1994, but
that's like
when all good music came out, it was 1994.
When Post Malone did that song with Ozzy Osbourne, and Lily come in and goes, who's Ozzy Osbourne?
Oh no.
What?
Yeah,
you have failed as a father.
Well, I have. Well, the thing is, Lily, when she was real little, was around me all the time, and then she started doing martial arts, which gave her own thing, and so she does her she goes and does her own thing, and she'll only time she needs me is money and rides. And she's like, I love you, Dad, but
that is a very teen thing too.
Yeah. I got some good stories. I got some good stories for you if you want some.
Lily is an amazing story in and of herself, because I've seen the people she's met.
I want to make it around. I want to make it around the writing aspect.
Okay.
But this is I have ran into some really great people doing this, and some really fun stuff. Do you guys get this a lot when you tell someone that you're a writer, or any of your friends? Have any of your friends reached out and told you that they want to write a book?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, and this person sent me a message, and they were like, Steve, I'm so proud of you. Way to go. My life is so interesting. I should write a book. RIGHT. I'm like,
you should not.
Yeah.
Use speech to text.
It's okay. It's okay. We did the West Virginia Book Festival last year, and I was sitting there, and I was selling afterwards, and I was doing very well. And this threw me off for the entire day. This like 84-year-old woman with a cane comes up. Okay, look, Caitlyn knows the story. Okay, and she's standing there and she's looking at me. She goes, "What's your book about?" And I said, "Oh." So I give her the spiel. I said, Clayton Shaw has the worst day he's ever had in his, and he ends up in the afterlife. And, now he's got a 2,000-year-old Greek partner that he can't get along with, and a 3,000-year-old Egyptian prostitute is his boss, and she hates his guts, and he's trying to figure out how he got there and how he got out. And all of a sudden she just pauses. And I'm like, and I mean like 30 seconds.
Did I kill her?
Dead silence. And I'm like, dude, just throw something at me if you hate it. And she goes, "I'm just not into stuff like that." And I went, "Oh, so what are you into?" Another 30 seconds, like someone had hit a reset button. Okay. And she goes, "I like realism," and just walked away. And I turned to Chandler and I went, "That's bull." And she goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "That woman's into Western erotic fiction." And she goes, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Look at her. Look at the way she's walking. Look at the way she talked to me. Look at the way she talked to me. She's into Western erotic fiction." She goes, "Like what?" And I said, "Like saddle sore." Okay. I just
no
off the top of my head. So hold on. This gets really good.
Oh God.
So Old Bones is a submission book for the Henlo Press. And this is the kind of relationship I have with everybody here. So they're like, submit things for, Old Bones.
For this literary fiction.
Literary fiction novel. We're going to put separate pieces. When I turned in the first chapter of Saddle Sore to them. Okay. When Chandler opened that, she went, "Oh my," she wrote me, she went, "Is this what I think it is?" And I was like, "Yes."
Like, I've been waiting 3 months for this reaction.
I waited 3 months for this. And I was like, "This is for that old woman." Yeah. This is, so finally, when she comes up to me at the next West Virginia, because she'll be 85 now, she might be, I hope she comes up. I'm gonna be like, "I got you. I got this one."
This
filth.
You're gonna love.
Filth. It's absolute filth, honey. You'll love it. No, she was. It was just when she paused and just sat there. That is the most creeped out I've been. Oh, dude, I was like,
you have to put it in a book now.
I do. Okay. She has to be in there. She literally just stared at me and she didn't blink. And
she's actually a lizard person.
Yeah. They were trying to recruit me or something. I was like, she was sweet, but I was like, and the way she ended it was just, I like realism, like to tell me, write something about Lincoln. Be
the next Corvette out.
Yeah. Write something, do something. Yeah. What are you doing with yourself? I felt bad. I was like, oh. But no, it was really funny. So Saddle Sore, I really hope it makes Old Bones, because knowing my luck, though, everybody will be like, "This was so good. This is
now
what
we need you to write Western erotica."
Yeah, all to write is too.
But that's okay, because that's where the money is. If you want to write a book,
yeah. Things like 6-shooter or 2-gun salute. Just do things like that.
You joke, but I am telling you, you would be rich by next Tuesday.
Yeah, tired horse. Yeah, just I mean, that's what's. So I kind of freaked out after I sent it in. I was like, I was like, so, but I'm like, I can't wait for your stuff. I can't wait to work on Mel with you some more. You know what?
I sent in a piece that was about a search and rescue group out of Baffin Bay in Alaska going to a research vessel, and they get on and everybody's dead and bloody and he's bleeding before he gets back onto the helicopter. And I thought this might be a little too dark, but never mind.
Please.
Never mind.
Please.
It's all good.
Please let her story be right before Saddles. Please. It would be the greatest thing ever. Is if everybody's
dark,
like,
bloody piece. And now in the hell.
This is about a retired Wild West prostitute. What are we doing? Yeah, so
mine's a retelling of a fairy tale, so we can put that after Saddles.
Yeah, everybody
turn things back down.
Palate cleanser.
It's a really nice palate cleanser. It's like
Oh,
it's like I give you spice, you throw Kit Kat in there.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, I
oh
mean,
my God.
and these are Michelle. These are our meetings. This is
Hey,
this
this is the best kind of meeting.
this is how our meetings go.
Yeah.
We eat pizza and we pick at each other
Riff
and
off each other.
we just riff and it literally bleeds into our work. And
As long as we're taking notes.
Yeah.
Because we're at the age now that if we don't write it down, we will
Oh,
not
dude.
remember. So
I,
we're like, wait a minute, let me write that down.
how many times has
Amen.
Kate got a hold of me and said, "Hey, you remember?" No,
No.
no, I'm 50. No, I don't remember. I don't even know where my socks are. So,
Oh my God.
have you had anything at one of your shows? You know, somebody weird or
Oh,
Dude, I sell stickers.
okay.
Okay.
yeah, but
Everybody's
yeah, everybody's
and
weird.
everybody wants to tell me all the things that they were doing in the Stone Monkey parking lot. Okay, which
Oh yeah.
I enjoy these stories. Or the warehouse or the Stone Monkey. Apparently nothing actually happened inside. It was all in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. But no, for book part, no. Everybody's always been relatively normal. So I haven't experienced, even with the other books, I haven't had anybody insane. So
Yeah.
I did sell a book to a little old lady though once. And she knew my grandma. And so I was just chit-chatting and she bought the book and I didn't think anything about it. And then I'm like, wait. I hope you're really cool with the F word.
I love the
Didn't you know my grandma?
I love
like-
the F word.
I'm like, you know, my grandma, who's like the treasurer of her church. So she won't read this book.
Using it as a comma.
Anyway, this might be a bad thing.
Said using it as a comma.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because I don't know where I tried to find your other stuff. Where can I get your other stuff?
It's at Book Tenders and at Cicada.
Well, that's it. I'm
and,
going to stop there on the way home after I take 55.
There you go.
get home. Yeah. And on Amazon, but
Yeah, I'll get you.
but I have it separated. So A Shade of Winter is under A.B. Hooser, and my other books are under Amanda Hooser. And I don't care if people know that they're the same, but I do not want Amazon to suggest.
Group them together.
Yes,
Ah.
like I don't want the suggesting my adult cozy mysteries to
So-
11-year-olds.
So when I do saddle sore, I should do it under the name Bevan Sias.
Yes.
Look at you,
Uh.
Beverly Side.
Yeah, that tracks.
Now I'll give you this so you can throw this at Caitlyn.
Oh
So-
no.
So when we did Melt, I was trying to do from a very serious point of view and try to, and I have a very dialogue heavy. I write very dialogue heavy. Anybody that's read my work, if you hate dialogue, stay away from Stephen's books because I do a lot of dialogue. Okay. And I had read Mumblings and I've talked to Caitlyn and like I said, the 80-year-old, the sweet, I always envision you, when you
Knitting.
come home in the evening, knitting.
That's what I do.
I think you broke Caitlyn.
Scary movies. You gotta keep a fine line between it.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Right. Watching my slashers while crocheting a really colorful.
So when we got to her hell, I'm reading this stuff with Courtney and I call Courtney on the phone and I'm like, this woman is dark.
Yeah.
I was like, what's down in that girl? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to go there.
Oh, she went there.
I'll if somebody asks me to, like, of course, if like I always pay attention to like guidelines if I'm submitting to magazines and stuff.
Mhm.
There's some stuff that you just can't write about. And there's like certain triggering topics that in the horror genre they're used as shock values. And I don't
Oh yeah.
so I try if I use those topics, I try to like make sure that they're not there for the shock value. They're there because they're important to the plot.
Okay.
But no, nobody ever expects me to write the dark fiction and horror like I do. I get told all the time, they're like, oh, you're so sweet. Like I could see you like watching Hallmark movies and like being a preacher's wife and like doing charities and stuff. And then they read my stuff and they're like, oh my God. Which I love. I love that.
The juxtaposition.
I
That's
love
awesome.
getting inside of a box, it's keeping people on their toes.
That's awesome.
I know her personally, and when I read Mel, I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "This is
Now, as a plug, Kindle Vella, you get the first 3 episodes for free.
yes."
You can read for free, and then they give you 200 coins. And each episode is based on the word count of the section that you use X amount of coins per each thing. So
I think
Okay.
you totally check it out. And
yeah, I
there's no
think
charge for
So
it.
Mel, you can see part of it or read part of it now.
probably if
Yeah.
you get the free coins, can get. I think there's 6 parts right now, and
6
the
parts,
thing
okay.
is, I'm 1, 3, 6, and Caitlyn is no, yeah.
You're 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 1, 3, and 6,
1,
and
2,
she's
3,
2 and
4.
4, and hers is up next. And dude, it's just so where it's going, you just can't tell, and it's just so
No, that's what I'm like. I need to know more. I need to know what's
Yeah.
going on. What is going on? Which
Because
one am I
Caitlyn and
trusting?
I had when Caitlyn and I had the idea, wow, and it's not what you expect.
Like, I don't know who to trust.
Yeah, and the thing is, I had to write from a 1960s male mentality, which made me have to take a shower after I was done. I was like, oh, I feel so dirty. And Caitlin's like, oh, you should feel so dirty.
You should.
Now you were talking about like staying away from you in 304. That was really how I flirted that line and then went back away from it. Cause I don't want someone to read my book. And I want people when they read my stuff to have fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's my thing. I want you to have fun with it. I'm not some big philosophical. I don't want to do that. I want you to have fun.
I tried for 2020 for NaNoWriMo to write horror. And I got on Pinterest. I read all the different articles about how to write horror, how, all the little psychological details to throw in. And I thought, instead of writing a novel for 2020, I am going to write just a bunch of short stories. And so I laid them all out. And they are dark, but I can't not be funny. Every one of them has like some weird twist. And you're like, oh, or you're just laughing the whole way. And I start on one where they're bashing a guy's head. He's literally at the car wash washing the mat off in the car and get the blood and the hair off of his baseball bat. And in the story, I'm just cackling and crying because I'm laughing so hard writing it. And I'm like, why can't I not write dark? But I like it funny.
There are topics that you just got to stay away from.
Oh yeah.
And especially now. And I'm not talking about, I'm not getting political or anything. No, what I'm talking about is there's just some things that you have to just to stay away from.
Mhm.
The neat thing that I did with 304 was I would come right on that razor's edge. And that's what she talked about. She goes, I'm like, he's going to jump that edge. He's going to jump that edge. Nope. I'd curve back around. And
You didn't need to kick him in the shins.
yeah, I didn't need to be told. I didn't need to be because like I said, I don't want to make you think. I want you to have fun.
Yeah.
I want you like you're going to see a summer blockbuster movie. That's what I wanted to do with it. Now, I'll just go ahead and announce it here. I've already started on my third. My third book is a science fiction comedy book. And I've been so far away. Like if you read my first book, it's a period piece with religious overtones. Second book is a horror, a kind of a horror, dark humor,
Okay.
And this one is just an over the top, goofy, fun science fiction thing. And I'm just going,
So I'm not picking a genre and sticking with
it. No, because I don't think I could.
Yeah.
I don't think I could. Well, Mel is so serious,
Yeah.
and it's about abuse and mystery. Caitlyn and my Mel is it's got like a murder mystery in it too, which is where it's going to go. And you're like, it's just, I want to jump all over the place because I started late. Caitlyn got this, look at her. She got this early,
Yes. Yeah.
you don't hurt yet.
Oh,
Isn't that the
it's
carpal
coming.
tunnel?
Amanda and I wake up. Oh,
yeah.
That's new.
Yes. I will say that when I was writing some scenes for Mel, I actually got physically sick when I was writing them. So that's how you know it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like, I'm like, yeah.
There's one scene that's been set up for me that I still haven't written yet because I have to mentally prepare so much for it. It's
Oh wow.
like not like there's certain things as an author that you just don't write because you don't like it's too not I wouldn't say triggering, but it's not like it's way too out of your comfort zone.
You have
And
to be in that
love-
headspace to do it.
yeah, and I love
Yeah.
out of my comfort zone. And I feel like my works where I've written outside my comfort zone are the ones that I'm most proud of. So I'm excited to write it, but I haven't written it yet because it's
we get to play off each other.
yeah.
And that's the best part about that is that we get to play off of each other. I'd like to do that with you.
Yeah.
But
You
then
guys
I would notice.
Oh yeah.
I know what you would do. You would take subtle digs at me. Some guy with a green hat.
Yeah. Flannel shirt.
A flannel shirt with a gray, too much gray in his beard. I die horribly. I'd be like, you. So no.
Okay, so a friend of mine had read a book and like there were 8 different authors and they all wrote, I think it was a romance thing, but like everybody said it in the same town and they had the same, neighborhood, the same buildings, and then they each picked a different couple and then everybody wrote a different book set in the same
Interesting.
town. And I thought that would be a fun thing to
You know what?
That does sound amazing.
I've
It doesn't have to be romance.
I mean,
though,
ours
but
would not
yeah.
be romance, but
No.
we could totally do horror.
I've always wanted to write one that would take place at like a hotel or a motel, and each story is set in a different room and it's by a
Yes.
different author.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah,
Well, we
and all
could-
the title, room,
we could
whatever.
we
Yeah.
could cross over with our audiences because our audiences are way different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is really weird. Mine is a really weird audience.
Well,
Well, what about your audience?
I don't have like fully established audience yet, but it's so cool to see those people who are supporting you, like people that I met at the West Virginia Book Festival last year.
Mhm.
I get comments from them occasionally being like, I'm so proud of you. You're coming so far. And they literally make me cry. I'm like, that's
Aw.
sweet.
Yeah.
Just like people are so kind and they really want to support people. And that's just so beautiful.
are you guys members of the West Virginia Writers Group or whatever?
No, so I'm a member of the Horror Writers Association, but I've been wanting to join.
Yeah.
that.
I'm an I'm an outcast. They don't want me. Application denied.
Did not. Oh, it's that guy.
Steve, the afterwards guy? No.
The unprofessional writer.
That's probably who the head of it is. It's that woman. She's like, no. The one with the blazer and the hat. No, I don't want him. Yeah. And he made fun of me on the HerdCon. He smashed on me on their next on it. No, I hope yeah. So I like how we're pitching ideas at each other. We're sitting here trying to sell our books and we're sitting there talking, oh, let's all get together and write
Let's write a
something.
different book.
Yeah, let's do something different. That's what you've brought us all together.
I think that's the fun part though, because now everybody's seeing that part of the creative process and going, oh, well,
Yeah.
I need to get their other books and prepare because hopefully they'll do this other thing they're talking about.
Something anytime soon.
Oh,
So,
No, we're all we're in,
8,000 ideas into it.
we're in for the long haul. And we want to see this through. We want to see you get her big office that she wanted, which she's got the little office now, but the big office. Chandler being there, pretty much 24/7. Chad angry
Yeah.
because he's overworked.
You need to draw these 8,000 things and make all the book covers, Chad. What?
No,
They were- we need to cover art now.
yeah, and that's where we need. Yeah, we need to be there because it's so much fun.
Yes. And I will say that if you want to submit to Henlo, definitely do it. But their mission, which I just love so much, is to support Appalachian writers and creatives because historically Appalachian writers and creatives have been underserved in the publishing community.
Mhm.
There are publishers who will not publish you if you're Appalachian. Just
Yep.
because of stereotypes. They do believe that Appalachians are uneducated and all this stuff, and that you won't produce us.
Not professional.
Yeah, unprofessional.
Hey, maybe that's what she meant.
Aw.
Maybe that's what she meant. Maybe she's like, he's such a stereotypical Appalachian writer.
No, but their mission is just so great. So definitely support it if you can in any way.
Yeah, I love that they've been a part of HerdCon since early on at the beginning and everything. And I love that it's been fun because we've got to see Henlo kind of build, and then all of these area authors coming in and building off of Henlo and through Henlo. And I adore that. It's just kind of amazing and inspiring.
I talked on TikTok one day about finding a group. Like I have, we have the Cicadas writer group, which we've just rebooted, and like 15 people showed up Tuesday night to submit, and we'll all critique. And when we used to do this, it was so much fun, and you get to know all the writers. Then we have the Ask IGW group, and then we have the West Virginia Writers group, and we have all these things on Facebook. We have all these social media things. We all get together. We all have a really good time. I forgot where I was totally going with this entire thing.
We've been talking for almost 2 hours now.
I know.
So I understand.
My brain stopped. But like we have all of these people, and we're all doing these things, and we all try to support one another the best that we can, especially like the West Virginia writing. What is this thing that's coming up? What's it called? The book fair?
West Virginia Book
Festival. Yeah. Trying to get that stuff going. And so, we try to do grassroots, get you up, get you noticed, and hopefully Henlo will just keep growing because I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are.
But I talked TikTok. That's what it was. My original point was that people were like, yeah, in my small town, nobody else, there might be other writers, but they don't. Because I was like, go to your local library.
Yeah.
The librarians will know if there's a group of writers that meet somewhere. They're like, nobody meets. There's no other writers. There's no one to make a group with, that they would love to have groups. But I think it's really important. And Huntington has so many different groups and so many different groups. There's something for everybody out there to get started if you're trying to learn to write, or, trying to get going. Maybe you've never written something, or maybe you've got something that's been sitting in a drawer for 10 years and you're too afraid to show somebody. But there's a lot of places in Huntington and different, especially on Facebook groups and physically meeting groups that you can get and meet people and learn how to really write a book. So,
and if you're scared about getting started, I always remind myself of just how many people are out there, especially in this age of technology. If one person likes your book, to me, that one person is enough. Other 99% cannot like it, but that one person is right for that one person.
See, why is it for years? But no, it's just like the woman that came up to me. It's something like that. And here's the thing: if you're scared to do it, just contact me. I'll get you in there. Courtney's sweet and lovable. Chandler can be a little intimidating because she doesn't speak.
She does not speak.
She just stares at you. I remember when I met her, I was like, she hates my book. She hates my book. She hates it. Look at this. Look at the way she's looking at me. She wants to stab my eyes out. She does.
Courtney was the outgoing social one, and Chandler's very introverted.
I was going to say, that sounds like the introvert.
I love her. That Chandler is the one that, really support. When I turned in 3 or 4, she's like, as a writer, you have improved exponentially. And she's like, you are so much better than you were. And you take criticism, and, Chandler was the one, not that Courtney wasn't supportive, but Chandler was the one that sat down and said, listen, and when you get that kind of positive affirmation, you get that kind of, when someone's sitting behind you giving you that little nudge, it's almost parental, and it made me want to finish. It made me want to make it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I don't know about you guys, but this whole publishing process and just the very act of being published has increased my self-confidence so much.
I've got so much self-confidence.
Yeah.
It's never an issue.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
both obnoxious.
I'm not. Yeah. No, like I said, the night before, and I'm sure when you were doing Mumblings, I remember her book release party. Okay. She's like, oh God, I gotta get up there.
Book
and I was like, so I'm sitting there and I can see her fidget in her hands. So I said, I got this. And this is where this come from. This is why I introduce whenever we do a book release party, I do the big speech.
It's like the MC.
Yeah. Before they come
Yeah.
out, this big, I put them over. I'm like, I love you. You know, I do all that. You know, I get up there almost Southern preacher. They are so good. They are so good. You know, so I got up there and I gave Caitlyn just this glowing over the top thing. And so she goes walking up there and she looks at me and goes, wow. And she just starts reading. And from, you know, it's you could see her confidence. And then when we did the Halloween thing, you were just, bah, 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 bah. Yeah, you were completely different. And it's just her confidence is.
I have read chapter 1 of my book so many times.
I
I almost got memorized.
I know. I think you even have to look.
Just say, have you done it on YouTube yet?
I didn't do it on YouTube, but I did do it on TikTok. I read chapter 1. I had 5-minute videos and split it up on TikTok to
Your TikToks are fantastic.
Yeah.
They're very
It's
informative.
exhausting.
But your follower count is really good. My TikToks are insulting. You watch at the top 5 why I want to be a writer thing?
No.
Oh, dude, those are hilarious. You know, I told the top 5 books that made me want to be a writer, and I explained why. And I got to the third one, and I tell this personal story about my first girlfriend, and my wife was like, "Oh my, what is wrong with you?" So I try to make jokes, and then I brought Lily out, and Lily got really excited because there was this giant Amazon box. Okay. And I was like, it's for you. And so she opens it and it's my book.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, okay. And she's just like staring so faithfully. She's so mad. And everybody loved that.
Another one of your stupid books.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, isn't that book awesome? She's like, it's stupid.
Oh,
She hadn't read it yet. So I didn't take it personal.
Yeah.
Like I said, she really had to get grounded. She got in an argument with someone at school and got in trouble. And I grounded her, and that's when she read my book. I had to ground my dog. Everybody thinks that's a joke. I had to.
She had electronic devices.
Yeah, she had no electronic devices, no TV, and she's like, "Well,
like fine."
Yes, I'll read it.
So read your book.
I would go on Saturday mornings, go to the Milton Library, and come out with a stack of books this tall. At like the limit, I think was like 10 books is what you could check out at one time. And so I would all of the books. And then I would go home and lay on my bed, and we had to do chores, of course. As soon as chores were over, I was just lay on my bed for the rest of the weekend. And as soon as I got home from school every day, you know, through middle school and high school until I started actually having to have a job. But no, just sit and read and read and read and read. And that's all I did. And then they're like, I made a, is it 800 on the SAT? That's what? Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
And they're like, what kind of studying did you do? And I didn't. I just read a lot of books.
Well, mine comes from insomnia. I can't, and even since I was a little kid, my mom would always yell at me. She would be like, you know, you need to bed, you need to bed. And she's like, well, read. So I would end up being up till 4 a.m. reading, because I couldn't go to sleep. And so that's where a lot of my reading comes from. And I constantly, and you know, and I read a lot of pop culture-y stuff. And then I branched out into philosophical.
Dean Koontz, because once you start, you can't stop.
Yes.
Because you need to know what happens before you can go.
Yeah. The one that hooked me as a child was Ghost Story by Peter Schraub.
Oh yeah.
That one. Wow. That book hit me. That's the first book that scared me. Like it actually scared me. And I was like, dude, I'm afraid. You know, I'm like, now I can't go to bed. And I feel like I got to pee, but I don't want to get up. You know, I mean, that book had that effect on me. Now, the first true disappointment I've had in books was Stephen King's It.
Oh, I could see that.
I had the flu.
I have never finished a Stephen King novel.
Really?
It can be hard.
So boring. I'm like, I can't.
I
need to be entertained, and this is not.
I had the flu, and my mom bought me that book, and I got all the way to the ending, and I threw it across the room because the ending was so bad, and it was just.
You can tell that he didn't write it in a stable mindset.
Stable set of mind.
Yeah. I'm trying to say that.
Everybody's over here. Everybody's shaking their head. They're like, ugh, yeah. It has a scene in it that made me realize that I'm so thankful for my editors
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that I'm not a big deal.
Someone to say no to you.
I'm not a big deal to where they don't want to say no to me.
I've read it too.
Yeah, you've read it and you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Not read it, but I know what you're talking about.
There's that in like the beginning of a sentence. Like there'll be like half of a sentence written in the chapter.
Well, not just that, the sequence that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Why didn't somebody look and go,
Please no.
Exactly.
no.
Yeah.
All of this.
See what we get into? We just start riffing.
Yeah.
It's funny because Stephen and I have actually seen a lot of the same movies and watched or read a lot of the same books. So we get
Oh, nice.
discussions like this.
Yeah. And then, Amanda just,
I see my mom was afraid of the Wizard of Oz. Like it
too.
was
Oh.
so we never watched any scary movies. We were never allowed to watch any scary movies. So I was, 20 years old, living in my own house, watching Nightmare on Elm Street. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I had never watched a horror movie.
it didn't have the effect on you.
No, at 20, I'm like, this is ridiculous. What? Well, obviously, this at 12, it would have a much different impact than it did at 22, so
Yeah.
not interest me at all.
So I need you to understand. I was born in 1973. Okay.
You're same age as my husband.
The thing came out in 1982. We used to buy tickets. We would lie to my mother and we would buy tickets to like an American Tail or E.T. And then I would go and watch the thing. And the thing messed my cousin up, who was 2 years old. Now, I think about that. 1980. I'm 9. Okay. Watching the thing. He's 11. He went home in tears. And I'm still in trouble over that. My mom brings it up all the time. And I'm like, but that was where my love affair for, because I watched the thing. They did the 40th anniversary of the thing recently, and I took Lily to the theater to see it. And she jumped during several of the sequences in it. And she goes, they don't make movies like this anymore. And I was like, no, they don't.
No.
But like you were talking about, you have to have that when you're younger, that kind of fear of death.
Yeah.
It has, when you're 20, Nightmare on Elm Street doesn't have that effect on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has no effect other than
Definitely not the same.
well, what's snacking my because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, like the Voorhees movies, you're laughing at them.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
You're laughing at them. You're laughing at those films, and I think that's why. Like, I can't wait for you to do Scarefest. I hope you could. I tried to get you to do it too, because you need to see the people that go there.
Oh, I'm so excited.
The people that go to Scarefest.
I think they're gonna be my people.
They are your people. They are your people. They knit and watch horror.
That's fine.
They knit and watch horror films. Yeah. And they're your people too.
Weirdos.
Weirdos. Yeah.
Weirdos, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's go ahead. It's just after 4, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. And do you have any like particular closing thing that you want to leave our listeners with?
Buy Amanda Shade of Winter. It is on Amazon. It is fantastic. Read it to your kids, read it to your grandkids, read it to whoever, read it to your dog. Who cares? Caitlyn has Camp Meltaway. Her book is coming. You have to buy that book. You have to, because it's a necessity.
You can
Yeah, it's
pre-order.
a requirement.
My book 304, when it hits, you should give it a chance because it's got my sense of humor to it, and you'll have fun. You should buy the Henlo's books. West by God is coming out. We have a children's book called Nor the Narwhal that you should buy.
Mm-hmm.
Buy all of Henlo Press's books because Courtney needs new shoes. Chandler doesn't give me that death stare that I'm not making enough money for them. Please, support.
They are a small, independent, local publisher trying to start off and get their stable going.
Yes.
Go to Book Tenders. Go to Conquest. Go to Cicada. Go to, what was it? Plot
Twist books.
Plot Twist
books. Go to these stores. Buy books there. Don't go to BAM.
Yeah.
Go places. Go. Not that.
Don't buy off Amazon.
Yeah, don't buy off Amazon. Not my books on Amazon. Hey. No, seriously. No, seriously. Go buy from these and buy these books and
support local.
Support us, because we support you. Well, I mean, we do. We support. You know, if I buy from local businesses all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
There you go.
And a lot of our local businesses are full of awesome events too. I know Cicada does game nights. I think Book Tenders was doing some of the game nights as well. They do lots of author events here locally. And isn't Conquest the one sponsoring VoidCon?
Yes.
Yeah, because
So-
Courtney's already suckered us into working that.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, and for our listeners,
Need volunteers, so we're being volunteers.
Amen. That's why I have to do HerdCon. I
bet
could have
you-
volunteered people.
You're working. Here's your shirt.
especially my husband. You know, it's like, come on. You're going to be here for 24 hours. All 24 hours.
One thing I will
But
say,
yeah.
I know
Oh,
it's
yeah. Good.
Nerf gun episode.
That's coming.
I'll make sure to bring all of mine at home.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Caitlin will get into it too. She'll wait till one of her backs is turned up.
Oh, I will.
My son had got me out. It's a crossbow Nerf gun thing, and I tried to represent.
This was fun.
This
This was
so
this
much
this
fun.
was fun. This
Yes.
was what this. You know, when we were sitting outside on the bench, this is going to be awesome.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
it was awesome.
I think
Well-
what did you put on my Facebook post about this? That this was going to be chaos or something?
It would be psychotic. It would be.
It'll be
insane.
psychotic. Yeah,
it would
I was
be
like, yeah, that'll.
That's all right. We like our psychotic in West Virginia. I mean, come on. It's hillbilly psychotic, and we have fun with it. We own it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
We're not denying it in any way.
I will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for being with us today. And I highly appreciate you being understanding, me not being there in person. I don't want to spread the
having me.
germs.
Yeah. Thanks. for
No germ spreading.
Yes, keep your germs at home. We don't want them.
But thank you. And we absolutely adore everything you guys have been doing and love seeing what you're doing and what's coming. So, you know, keep us in the loop and we'll do this again.
Okay. Sure thing.
It's fun. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Okay,